In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Libya bid round 2025. The picture on the front here is the Tyne Mosque in Tripoli. Here's a map showing Libya and all the surrounding countries. Now, our trove covers not just Libya. As we're going to talk about, it's Algeria, Tunisia. We've also, in a different trove, got the western desert of Egypt. We've got the western Mediterranean and all the countries south of Libya, Niger, Chad, Sudan. Now, Libya has launched its first round of oil and gas exploration bids for over 17 years, offering 22 new blocks for development, 11 offshore blocks, 11 onshore. A significant step for the National Oil Corporation, or NOC, to revive production and attract new investors. It's got blocks in high potential basins such as the Sirte, the Mazouk and the Gamades, along with areas out into the Mediterranean. Now, Libya is an OPEC member, currently produces around about 1.4 million barrels of oil per day. It was previously back pre-2011, it peaked at around about 1.6 million barrels. Now, the authorities are trying to push that number back up towards 1.6 and maybe beyond. Contracts will be awarded under production sharing agreements, or PSAs, offering more favourable terms for investors than earlier models. Now, here's the timetable for the round. We've already seen the roadshows completed. There were roadshows in Tripoli, in Houston, in London and in Istanbul. Now we're onto a period of qualification with qualified bidders past muster by the 8th of May 2025. Then there's going to be data rooms, clarifications, and basically submission of documents by the 15th of November 2025. Bid announcements, 15th of November, same day. Wow. And sign contracts somewhere before the end of November 2025. It's an aggressive timetable. There has been quite a bit of slippage to date, and it is decades since actually a round has gone through, but let's watch this space. So the video has been released here just at the back end of April 25, just after the closing of the roadshow program. We have all sorts of information, all captured in Trove. For example, here's all the slides relevant to the process, the terms and conditions, the fiscal terms, the bid qualification criteria, the data room, winner selection criteria, and scoring system, all together in one place at the click of a button, easy to find, easy to bookmark. We've got every block in the round. All those in blue are actually exploration only. All the ones in green are highlighted. They've got discoveries on block. Could be appealing to different sorts of companies if you want to actually develop something that's already been found, or to just go out into pure out-and-out exploration. There's both onshore and offshore opportunities. So here's a map. It shows all the blocks in the previous list. So they're in very different basins, but these basins, they're not all contained within Libya itself. The Gamades Basin goes across into Algeria and indeed into Tunisia. The Mazouk and the Kufra Basin, they head on down to the south. The offshore Sabra Basin in the northwest, that goes on over into Tunisia, where we've got the Gulf of Gabes and the Gulf of Hammamet are sort of extensions or, similar geology. Now, the good news is that we actually cover that all within Trove. So if we take a look, and here's an example of one of the bid round blocks. So if we look here at the O1A block, or offshore O1A block, as well as the material that was given out on the roadshow, there's some previous material here, very similar, but occasionally a little difference. And then within there, we have a link so that one of the discoveries on this block, if you click on this button, it takes you to this page here. You can see all about this particular discovery. And of course, that will then take you from the A1NC120 discovery. You'll find another discovery very, very relevant is here, the A1NC202 discovery. So all linked, all very, very easy to find, quick to access. If you want the background, here's the background to the blocks. Basically an introduction to the geology and the history of oil and gas in Libya. But as well as that, within the Trove, we've got all this source rock data. Now, it's Libya, but we've got Tanzania and Algeria in here as well. Likewise for infrastructure. All the pipelines, the terminals, all the information about the infrastructure, both in country and in surrounding areas. We've got stratigraphy, we've got maps. We've got a regional setting and structural geology. Now, regional setting, that's more about basin evolution and plate tectonic settings. Structural geology, on the other hand, more about sort of basin scale, sub-basin, fault trends. It's really just a difference of scale. Then we go on and look at the reserves data, very, very high level, down to a lot more detail. Anything and everything we can find, including the yet to finds, all captured here. And then we've got a country overview, just an introduction to Libya, a background of all that's been happening here, and some recent articles, S&P Global, looking at how Libya could become a key gas supplier for Europe. But it's not just about all these Libya assets. This is the basins here. You can see Subsurface Basin, Gamades Basin, the Mazouk, lots of assets within them, all the operators. We've got the asset types, all the various ages, lots of them tertiary and Cretaceous. Tertiary tend to be more in the offshore area. They're all the names of the assets, coming 528 of them within Libya. But we also have in the same database all the Algerian assets. Now these become very relevant because 72 of them are in the Gamades Basin, and there's the operators, asset types, the ages, all of them are onshore within Algeria. Likewise for Tunisia, Gamades Basins again, various operators, asset types, ages, all this information and all the assets highlighted here in blue. Now, when we say we've got all these assets, what does that mean? Well, one of the things we want to point out at this stage is, if you look at this list here, we've just looked at some of the different spellings for some of the fields and discoveries. There are some name changes, formerly known as. It all becomes very, very confusing. So you can see that Mashrab is also known as Meshrab or Mashrab 059P. Another example here, Nasser was formerly known as Zaltan or Zeltan. Depends on where you look. And in each of these, as you click on the name of the field, you get taken to a tab. Here's an example. This is the Mashrab tab, and you can see all the different information that we've collated and put together for this field. If you haven't got the right name, you won't find some of these other ones. Likewise, here's Nasser, also known as Zaltan. Lots of information on this, and likewise Ramel, Ramel, all sorts of different names, and that's kind of common throughout. And you actually, when you look around, you'll actually find these names and the different spellings in the various publications that have been over the years. If we just list all the assets that we have, here's the A's and B's that we have. These are the major fields. Anything from the A&E structures through Abu Atifel, through Jabal, through As-Sara, all the way down to Bori. You can see we've got lots of these fields. Now, without the also known as, you may not actually recognize some of these fields. It is very, very difficult, and you won't find material unless you use Trove. Some of the lesser significant assets, and well, some of them could be very, very significant, but not as much information available online. You can see these are just in the A's, and that's just an example of this huge list of information we have on all the Libyan fields. As for the companies, here's a look at a listing from 2007, and you can see all the companies that were involved back then. This little highlighted area here in the red ring, that is this listing here that you can see from 2007. But here's a more modern version. We've got all the information on all the companies that have been involved, present day and in the past. And here's a concession map showing the involvement of all these companies here. Now, what does the cost of this fantastic product? Well, we're asking £6,950. Now, it's not a lot of money. Why is it such a low price for such a huge resource? Well, we want you to experience Trove firsthand. We've got databases for every country on Earth, so if you know this area, you can see what a good job we've done. We've got this for anywhere and everywhere else that you're looking globally. We also want to point out, hey, regulators, we can actually help you promote your bid rounds in a similar way that we're doing it here, promoting the Libya 2025 bid round. There wasn't a time to mention everything in this very, very short video, but you can see from the front page, here's all the topics. We've got dashboards, active maps, all the data's held in just click on this tab and go there. Maps galore, various resources, and it's really for every geoscientist, engineer, explorationist, manager, and commercial specialist and investor, and everybody in the supply chain. How soon can you get this database? Well, send us a written statement that you're committed to paying the price, and we can send it to you within 2 days. You'll have it. We'll sort out all the paperwork thereafter. And note, if you see something that's missing, just tell us. We'll add it. We've already added loads more since making this video, so this is an ever-growing, real great resource for anybody looking to explore or produce in Libya. Thanks for watching. Act fast and save yourself months of searching. The round isn't on for very long and you really need to hit the ground running, so we may be already talking to your competitors, so get Trove, get ahead of them. Thank you for watching. I hope you found that interesting. Please hit the like, subscribe and ring the bell. Hope to see you back on our channel before too long. Bye for now.